Now, this video is a very serious theme, so you might be asking why I'm using a video game as footage to illustrate my point. And my answer is that this game represents everything I want to cover in this film. It encourages you to be creative by giving you a world in which anything is possible. It forces you to reflect by constantly throwing new challenges your way. It encourages you to be self-aware by giving you a platform to express your emotions in ways that are impossible in the real world. And all of these elements are part of what I want to discuss in this film. So, where do we start? Let's go back to the beginning, where my healthy self-awareness became unhealthy, and this journey began. I was in 7th grade. My middle school was one of the first to return from online school. I thought seeing my friends for this first time would be great, after only seeing them on a screen for months. And it was, but only for the first week or so. And then something shifted in my mind. I'm not sure what changed or why, but my brain went from being my friend to being my enemy. I have always been self-aware of what I'm doing and saying, but this self-awareness was different. It wasn't a positive, encouraging voice, but a negative, demeaning one that harped on every small thing I did. Day after day, no matter what I did, it constantly brought me down, and it wore me down until I was just a shell of my former self. The worst part was that I never realized this was happening, and I was like this for most of my 7th and 8th grade life. But then, near the end of 8th grade, I realized what had happened. I saw myself not for what I wanted to be, but for what I had become. And it was in that moment of reflection that I promised myself that I would become the person I had lost at the beginning of 7th grade. So I worked and worked and worked, tirelessly and unwaveringly for months, until I built myself back up to the point where I could look at myself in the mirror and say that I was proud of who was looking back. One of the most significant parts of this journey was creative expression, and for me that came in the form of playing the piano. I had been taking piano lessons since before COVID, but I was never really serious about learning how to play. That was until I took Music 1 at Branson and understood the meaning behind music and creative expression. The piano transformed from an instrument to a blank canvas on which I could express any emotions I was feeling or any experiences I had that words couldn't do justice. It gave me a quiet space and moment to reflect on everything I was trying to figure out. Now, it's the end of my junior year, which I am still in denial about, but I took this unique moment in my life to reflect on the entire journey I've been on, from 7th grade up until today. And I have 3 main takeaways from it that I want to leave you guys with. One is that having a form of creative expression as your outlet is the best way to take care of your mental health. Playing the piano and being exposed to music in the context of a music class opened my eyes and one of the main aspects that led me to find my purpose. It taught me how to be bold, take risks, and try new things without fear of what people might think, as everyone around you is doing the same exact thing. That lesson specifically, to not care about others' opinions of you, is the most important advice I can offer. It's very easy to forget, especially in high school. The second takeaway is that self-awareness is important up until the point where it becomes self-hatred. You have to try to find a balance between holding yourself accountable for your mistakes and giving yourself slack when you slip up. Finding this balance, however, is a long, complicated, and often painful process, and is almost never straightforward. This is the final and most important takeaway I want to share. Everything I've discussed, from reflection and healthy self-awareness to finding a purpose, is never a clear path. As I said before, it's not something you can just put on your to-do list and cross off one day. It's fluid, it's messy, and it often doesn't come in the form you expect. But one day, it will happen. You'll have a moment in your life where everything clicks. Everything you've been working towards comes together, and everything finally makes sense. And that moment is what you should work towards. It won't happen today, tomorrow, next week, or probably even a few months, but if you keep that in mind and use it to motivate yourself to keep pushing and working, I promise it will be worth it.